Good evening, everybody. Today is May 15th, and I hereby call this Board of Selectmen meeting to order. Everybody please rise. Invocation by Doug and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Almighty God, we come before you humbly, acknowledging your sovereignty over all things. We thank you for all the blessings you have given our community. And Father, as we consider the task of governing within our community, we ask you to guide our thoughts and hearts. And we ask for each of us an extra measure of wisdom and discernment. Father, as always, each of us prays to you in the manner in which we were taught to pray. Amen.
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 Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business is a reorg. Traditionally, we turn the meeting over to Mike. Mike conducts the reorganization, and take it away, Mike.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As David mentioned, the procedure for election of a new chair for the Board of Selectmen, since this is the first meeting after our most recent election. First off, I'd like to congratulate the two new re-elected selectmen, Gary and Joe. I look forward to working with you for the next 3 years.
Thank you.
The nominations can be offered by any member and do not need to be seconded. Once all nominations have been received, I'll call for a vote on each nomination in the order they are received. Once the election of the chair has been determined, the new chair will assume the responsibility for running the meeting and the election of any other officers as may be appropriate, which include the clerk. So, do I hear any nominations for chair?
Yes, I nominate Joe Bonavito.
Do I hear any other nominations?
Well, I was gonna nominate Steve, but I don't know if he would accept since he just nominated Joe. So,
Well, you don't need to, you don't need a second.
no, but I would don't know if he would be willing to accept. That was the question, not a second.
No.
Oh, then I nominate Steve Sadler.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations. And all those as I stated, in order of in order of their nomination, do I hear any votes for Joe Bonavina for chairman?
Is that a roll call vote, Mike?
Yes.
David Surface, yes.
Fowler?
Nay?
Dawes?
Nay.
Sadler?
Yes.
Bonavita?
Yes.
Okay, votes for Steve Sadler. Surface?
Nay.
Fowler?
Yay.
Dawes?
Yes.
Sadler?
Abstain.
Bonavita?
I'll also abstain.
The tally for the votes are 3 for Bonavita, 3-2 for Bonavita, and 2 for, 1 against, and 2 abstentions for Sadler. The new chairman of the Board of Selectmen will be Selectman Bonavita. Mr. Chairman,
Congratulations.
you can
Thank you.
take over the nominations for the clerk.
All right, so you want to swap seats? You can sit
Don't worry
here if you want, all right.
So-
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to nominate Stephen Sadler for clerk. Do we need a second on that, Mike?
No.
We don't need a second one.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. Roll call vote. Surface?
Yes.
Fowler?
Yes.
Dawes?
Yes.
Sadler?
Yes.
Bonavita?
Yes.
That would be 5-0 and it would be unanimous for position of clerk for Selectman Sadler. The rest of the meeting is yours, Mr. Chairman.
You slide over. I'm gonna move.
I take over your seat, right? I take over your
No, I'm
seat.
closest to the door.
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much to the board on the election. I really appreciate it, and following in very large footsteps. And certainly hope that I can, do as well as Selectman Surface has done.
Thank you.
So first on the agenda are the minutes for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any, okay.
Are we doing all the minutes or just minutes from separate meetings individually?
Maybe we should do individually, right? Would you
Well,
want
the
individual?
motion was for
I was just saying,
all the minutes.
it was for all the minutes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then all the minutes it is. Any conversation?
Yeah, if I may.
Absolutely.
On meeting of 12/5/16, page 4 of 7. It's mostly a question, Mr. Chair. And it's, where we were discussing the legal access policy. And I asked a question on whether we get billed or not if we call the attorney, as they said that feel free to call him if we ever have to. Did we ever get an answer on that? Because I don't remember.
You're right, I don't know if I gave you an answer, but I did get an answer, and if an individual selectman calls, they don't charge.
Okay, thank you.
Any other conversation?
Also, Mr. Chair, on the minutes of 12/19/16, page 3 of 6.
You said page 3?
Yes, we were discussing budget strategy down there, and just about halfway down the page, the sentence before it says Mr. Bonavita, where it says Mr. Fowler. I stated that the health insurance was probably gonna 10% increase, and it says that I stated we get a 2.5 increase, but this says, and health insurance is looking for a 3.4. I don't think health insurance is what should be in there. I may have been talking school committee, I'm not sure. I don't have the internet, I couldn't look it up, but if my memory is correct, is 3.4 what the
The school
school?
budget was requesting a overall 3.4%.
So that's a should state
The document?
school committee there, I believe.
School budget.
If we could.
School budget?
Yeah, so it's school budget, if we could just make that one correction.
Yep.
Thank you. I have nothing else.
Selectman Fowler? You okay? Anybody else? Gentlemen, you all set?
Yep.
All right. So if there's no other conversation,
Separate us. That's
We
all.
have a
Just make
motion
sure
and a
we're
second.
separated.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nay? Passes. All right. Let's see. Peter, why don't you come on up? We'll have an Elm Street construction contract signed. Peter Durkee, president. Go over the Elm Street project. How you doing, Peter?
Good, how are you?
We're good. We're good. Why don't you give us an update on Elm Street in terms of where we're at?
It was put out to bid and awarded to Newport Construction. They were the low bid.
Okay.
And we need the contract signed so they can start ordering material that they're gonna need to do the project. And I'm not sure when they're gonna start the project now. A couple weeks ago, they were looking at starting at the end of May, beginning of June, but now it might be the beginning of June. And we'll have a pre-construction meeting before any work is done. We'll have a meeting to talk to them about when they're gonna, like a payment plan. So what they plan on getting done certain times, so we can have a payment plan, so I can give it to the finance department, so they know how much money that they're gonna need before we put this out to bond to pay it. And then we'll have a pre-construction meeting, and I'll have the police, the fire, the school department there, and the engineer, the contractor will be there, and I'll be there, and we'll talk about, how the project's gonna go. They already know, it's already wording in the document when they can work and when they can't work, what they can do, what they can't do. And, we'll be able to notify the homeowners that live on the road, because the road will always be open to the homeowners. We just may have to talk to them the day before if we're working out in front of their house. School, we're gonna be talking to them every day to let them know. It may change day to day what way they might have to go to the school, depending on where they're working. It will be just a lot easier if they come in a different route. We worked with the gas company last year, and everything seemed to work fine with the gas company every day that they were doing the gas line work out there. So we're hoping it goes the same way with the company here. And then when school gets out, we're gonna close the road down just to residents only. The school already knows that this project was gonna be going on, so there won't be any summer classes up there. There won't be anything going on up there in the summertime. And the road will, like I said, will always be open to the residents, but it will be closed to anybody else in the summertime, so they can try to get as much work done as they can, the heavy work that they need to get done. They'll be, reclaiming the road. They'll be, changing the grade to the road in different areas, so they'll be hauling in, hauling out. So it's gonna be a lot of work this summer, so.
Sure. There are no activities up at the school during the summer?
There won't be
No
this
summer
summer.
baseball, nothing like
There
that?
could be summer baseball, but they're gonna get done around 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
So, and, the road will always, when they leave the road, it's not gonna be closed at night. When they leave the road, it's gonna be, you'll be able to drive on it, so.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question on, I'm
Yes, sir.
a little confused on the money piece of it, Peter. Mike, how much have we have appropriated, we can bond up to X?
1.8 million.
Okay, so Pete, do you foresee this being an issue in terms of the price? You must have a ballpark, right?
No, they gave us a price. They were the low bid,
Oh,
and they were
yeah,
under
what was their
1.8. It was, I wanna say
I have that-
1.7 something.
I have
Okay,
that number.
so it's the timing of the disbursements and the advances on the bond?
Peter meant cash flow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
they just have to give us the cash flow.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we had a handle on the number.
It's $1,734,500.
So we're under kind of the budget.
And that was, what, 3-4 years ago?
This
Yeah.
estimate,
The
The estimate was-
1.8 million.
yeah, the estimate was done 3 or 4 years ago,
That's
the
all.
estimate.
Good job on that.
But we changed some things to make it cheaper, and so,
You mean the change in scope?
yes,
We didn't cheap out though, right?
no.
Okay.
One thing that I would like to add, if we could, is the school signs. It's not in the budget there to install them, but there's no money to buy them. So I think it's, $5,000 a piece, I think, for the school signs, and I'd like to do that. If not, it could be 5,000 for both. I've looked them up so many times, I forget. But I could find out, and it would be the, school's zone, that's all, and it would, what I would like to add to the school zone sign is like a radar, so it tells you how fast you're going. Because a lot of people, they're just thinking of other things. Where do I gotta go next? Who do I have to drop off? Who do I have to pick up? And they're not thinking, but if they see that thing flashing in front of them saying they're going 45 miles an hour, it will slow them down, so. And I wanna do that at both schools, but not, like, out of this money, it will be just for Elm Street. And I have another, program, that Complete Streets program that we're trying, and I'd get the other ones for, Pearlie.
So you
Out of that.
have the money then in that?
Well, we're going forward with the Complete Streets, and then I've asked for that money out of the, prior treasure,
Right.
so that plan is asked for them, and I've asked for, there's a list of things that I have a list here I can give you and you can look at it. And it's not finalized yet, and it will go to Merrimack Valley Planning, and then they'll, put their stamp on it and go to the state, and hopefully we can get some money this year, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But while they're doing the project, I'd like to put the school zone signs in now, while they're doing the project. So it's done, and, there's already power out there, so.
So the school zone signs would come out of Complete Streets.
Nope, I could, if I wanted to wait, I could have them put the foundations in and have no signs out there, and then when I get the money from Complete Streets, we could do that. It could come either or, so. Complete Streets would be better, cause it's not town money.
Right, because we're not paying
Yep.
interest and all
Yep.
that on that.
Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully, if everything goes right, I could get the money this year and buy the signs, and they could install them, cause they do install them, we just have to buy them.
Now, this money includes any police officers we need down there?
Yep.
Anything like that? Okay, so it's all inclusive?
Yep.
Okay. In timeframe, I know you said you were
They
looking at
have-
beginning of June, but do
They
we have
have
an end date?
a year to do this. I don't see it taking a year. I think they could do this. Newport's a good-sized company. When they can get a lot of people in there, they're gonna get a lot of people in there and get a lot of work done. And, I think it's something that they could do in a season. So I think, they may have the binder coat down this year and come back and put the top coat, but I think they could have the road done this year. So,
Okay.
and it's gonna be tough, at school time, but we're just gonna communicate a lot. There might be a sign out there, there might be a phone call that you get from the school every day. You might wanna answer that call, just so you know what's happening down on Elm Street. So,
Okay.
I don't know if the school department can just pinpoint Pembroke, the people that drop off or pick up at Pembroke, but, if they could do that, that would be great, and every day it could change, but, they might be working down at one end for a week, and then the other week they might be working at the other end, and it might be better to come in the other way. And some days we may open up Brook Street to be a two-way street, and it's only a two-way street if it's, signs are blocked. If the signs are unblocked and it says one way, do not enter, don't enter.
Mr. Peter, when all this is done, is the plan for Brook Street to be two-way again?
Yes.
Selectman Sadler.
Do we typically add an end date to the projects, contracts? You can't
In
exceed
the
it.
contract, there's definitely, I think it's a year.
Okay,
If it's not a year, it's like a year and a half, but it's definitely a date in there that says when it ends.
okay, good.
Actually, they have 275 calendar days, excluding a winter shutdown period between December 1st and March 30th.
Okay,
So it's over a year.
gotcha, okay. No, that's all I had.
So, yeah, okay. Any other questions of the board?
Just a suggestion, oh, sorry, I didn't see your hand, Gary, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Selectman Fowler.
Peter touched on a little bit, Brook Street, one-way versus two-way. We've discussed this, the traffic committee put it forward to this board to consider it, and I know that at the time, we put it off because of the Elm Street construction. Any thoughts here from anybody on the timing of when we should go that? I mean, should we do it?
I think we should revisit before the construction ends, so maybe we can piggyback on the construction to reclaim and repave Elm Street. I know part of the plan is to have the Elm Street side of Brook Street redesigned, that intersection. So, we definitely want to do it before the end of the project.
Are you planning on doing, Brook Street with any other, is that
It
part
would
of the
be,
project? or
it's
you-
not part,
So,
just the intersection is, but
Okay.
you know, I could definitely go down there and reclaim the road and pave it.
With your chapter 90?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so you'll maybe keep us informed?
Yep,
perhaps,
and
when
what I'll
there's
do is I'll
ability?
talk to Mike and I'll set up another time for me to come and we'll, make a decision. I can have the police chief here and we can, do we have to have a public hearing on this?
Yes,
So we, you know, have to have a public hearing on it and
a
then,
public meeting,
okay,
not
public,
a
all right.
official public hearing.
Thank you.
And we could use
Will
Facebook.
any of the guys from your department be, or is this all Newport construction?
It will be all Newport construction, but one of my guys will be out there every day. So,
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes,
real
sir.
quick, we could use Facebook as a means to communicate daily updates for traffic flow and what's
Yep.
gonna be shut down and what's not. So Mike, in terms of the vote, do we have to authorize the chairman, or do we all sign this contract?
You authorize the chairman to sign.
Okay, and legal has reviewed it?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we authorize the chairman of the Board of Selectmen to sign the contract that's been presented by Peter from Newport Construction. Pete, do I have that right?
yep.
As presented.
There a second?
Second.
Okay, there a second? Any other conversation?
I do, I just wanna make sure I understand. The Elm Street side of Brook Street, that intersection, that's being taken care of with this money?
Yep.
Elm Street?
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
One final question. When do we discuss bonding in that?
Well, it's already been authorized and we're just going to be putting bands out to bid.
So I guess it's like, so what are we authorizing? We're authorizing for the contract, but we will be back in front of us, I guess, when the bands come in?
Well, it's already been authorized by town meeting.
Yeah, but typically
But we're not gonna have a bond, we're just gonna have a temporary, short-term financing at this time. They typically sign the bands?
I thought we did.
Anticipation notes, right? Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
bond
Yeah,
anticipation.
I think those come to us
Yeah.
to authorize, and bond council's gonna want the approval of the Board of Selectmen. I'm almost
Yeah, I
positive.
think Jackie usually,
Yeah.
that's the final bonds or the anticipate.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I think it's just the bonds that the selectmen authorize. The bands, we go out to bid, and I'll get back to you on that.
It is what it is when you go
Yeah.
out to bid, so. It's when we wrap it, I think.
Yeah.
I always thought the bands came in front of us though, but, I could be wrong.
Any other questions?
They aren't dealt with at a meeting anyway. They're usually put down in your signature file,
Mhm.
and you sign them before a meeting.
Okay.
Peter, I do have, one last question on my end. So there's always been a concern about, the folks that live on that street, including me. I think, it's a great project. It's gonna, do a lot for the street. But for the residents of that street, do we have any open forum, to complaints that they might have?
They can call my office, or I'll be out there every day, they can talk to me. I know during the gas company job, there was one person that, said that the person couldn't move something in. But if they let us know that something's gonna be going on, a day or two, we can make arrangements to make it happen. So there's steel plates out on the job we can put over the trench, and they'll always be able to get to their driveway. If not, we'll ask them to move their vehicle out, but we'll accommodate whatever has to be done, we can make it happen.
Okay, they can simply call your office?
Yep.
Okay.
It went pretty smoothly the last time.
I thought it did. There was, there wasn't a lot of trash out there. I'm almost positive this company will have, porta johns out there, so there won't be anybody running out in the woods, to use the bathroom. I know they'll keep it clean and they'll do what I tell them to do, so.
As long as we have some avenue, I think, for
Yeah.
them, I think that's fine.
Have you
So-
worked with them before?
No, but I know people that have, and, the engineering firm that I hire, they, know them, so that it's, they're accepted by the state, so.
It's our officers who are gonna be out there?
Yep,
They're gonna be
well,
doing
unless
detail.
they can't fill a detail, and then it'll be who knows from where, so, but there'll be officers out there.
That's the thing, I know we only have a couple on, so.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's the
Three,
whole thing?
3 copies.
Are you gonna get those to Newport, or do you want me to call them up so they can pick them up, or?
Well, they get one,
Yeah,
You gonna read it?
the engineering firm gets one, and we get one.
yep.
Mary,
Okay.
Yeah, well, the one
Up top.
that we have, Mary gets.
Do you want me to take one and get it to Newport, or do you, or will you take care of it in the morning?
I have to send them a notice to proceed,
Okay,
so I'll mail that
Yep.
with the contract.
and Joe, you know that if the town doesn't pay, you have to pay it as chairman.
Absolutely, I'm all over that.
It's on page
Get me.
25.
He hasn't read the handbook yet.
I think it's just the chair. Do we
Yes,
also-
just the chair.
Just the chair.
Yeah, just a chair.
Got it.
Are there speed bumps included in this project?
That's why we're putting the radar signs, so
Yes.
people,
So
because people just don't realize they're going that fast.
I was just a joke.
Well, when it was under construction, I'll confess, I was heading down Elm Street, and I was doing exactly what you said, was not paying attention.
Yep, you're just thinking of other things.
All of a sudden, there's Dean right in front of me. Slow down! I was like, he goes, oh, he goes, I was just cruising along, you know. He goes, he starts laughing, he goes, oh my God, are you? And I'm not a fast driver, I don't speed around town, I was just had, you know, things on my mind and wasn't paying attention, so it's a good thing.
Anything else, Peter?
This is just something that you guys can look at, this is part of the complete streets, the prior towards the, yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna get to, but anything out more on Elm Street?
nope,
We okay?
Yep.
Okay. So, I would like to, shift, we have some old business to the adoption, the complete street policy. You have something to?
no, this is just the priority plan that is part of it, that I'll be, sending off to Merrimack Valley Planning, tomorrow. I sent it over to John today, the, planning agent.
Oh.
And this is just oh, you have copies too? Good, better copies, yeah,
Mr. Chairman, if I
So
could
they
ask
can read
Mike a
'em.
question.
yeah. Can I have
Yes,
one?
sir.
This is part of the community compact, right? This complete streets was part of the community
Yes.
compact we signed with the Lieutenant Governor?
Yes.
Okay.
This is step, well, what we're gonna discuss is step 2. What you have in front of you is step 3.
Okay.
And I didn't, put a priority on any of these of what year they were planning on doing these. But that's just a list of, there's one thing, I don't know if it's on yours, but is there a thing on there about, milling and paving Central Street?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't come out on mine.
Down, yep.
So what I would try to do, and I don't know if they'll allow me to do it, but Central Street's in bad shape. And I've already talked to Bruce Tarr's office about trying to get it done sooner than later, because it's shovel ready to go and just mill and pave the road. They did it in Topsfield, so I'm hoping the state will do it here in Georgetown. But if not, we'll put it on the complete streets. And what I would do is mill and then pave, and then when we restripe Central Street, we would bring the fog lines in a little bit to give like a bike path, and that would allow us to be on complete streets, hopefully. And, because that's, I think, around $500,000 to
Yep.
mill and pave Central Street. So,
I think, Pete, I think when we went to that workshop over at NECO,
yep,
I don't remember them saying that
yeah. They do have it.
I think we just had to take the projects we wanted to have done right away and then
well,
prioritize.
they want
those.
like a 5-year plan.
Well, no, right.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's what this list is, and I'm sure we could add 1 or 2 more things, on it, but, some of these are gonna take 2 years to do. Adding some sidewalks, fixing some sidewalks is not just, a year's project.
Will each year be maximizing the funding?
I would try to use as much as I could. I think there's enough work, and there's, new things out there with ADA that's coming through, that I was at a meeting the other, last week. And, there's gonna be money available for ADA, which, we could use to help out with the sidewalks and other things. So,
Are these in priority order?
no,
No. You're going to prioritize them
Yes.
with the submission?
How do you do that, Peter?
what I'll do is I'll just, I'll talk to Merrimack Valley Planning and I'll
Okay.
ask them, what they think, and we'll put them in order then.
Merrimack Valley's been a big help. So
One
has
thing is
John
on there is to reclaim and pave the park and ride.
Gotcha.
And then add a structure so people have a place to go undercover if it's bad weather. And I would make the structure like a plastic structure that, you can see everybody waiting for the bus. I would try to do it more like, the history of Georgetown, something like maybe a post and beam shed that, one side is open, but it looks like a building instead of that, a
T-stop.
cement building. It looks historic that will fit downtown. The other thing that's on here is to try to make another park and ride down near the highway that, just like Newburyport has, but put it down by the highway, so, instead of people using the park and ride downtown that are taking the bus into Boston, they could go down there and take the bus into Boston, and it would give more parking spaces for the downtown area.
I like
Good
that.
idea. Yep. That I do as well.
And then it's, like the sidewalks, I would add sidewalks to Andover Street as far as we could go. If we could go to West Street, that would be great. If not, it would at least get us up to Ballpate Road. I know there's a lot of sidewalks in town that need to be redone. We're not gonna do anything with West Main Street right now, cause West Main Street is in the 25% design stage on the TIP grant. So hopefully in the next 5 or 6 years, that will be coming through and we'll be doing West Main Street over. So I haven't talked about West Main Street. Central Street, I'd like to add sidewalk to at least Noonan's, but if we have enough money, we'll go further. So, but, that way there, people can walk, from, Elm Street down to Noonan's. They have the mini golf down there now. I know that the rail trail is gonna be coming through soon, so the rail trail could be used that you could get to these sidewalks, so,
Be good to go to Georgetown
Create a
Road,
network. Yeah.
yep.
right to Georgetown Road, then just right down Georgetown Road, the rail trail is right
Yep.
there, so that'd be a nice loop.
Or, well, and plus they have, Nelson Street that they could get on the rail trail there, or down by Harmony Cemetery, there's a little parking area there, and,
So, I don't see like sidewalks on North Street, so we can.
no, it would be, we would be redoing the sidewalks on North Street, so,
Oh.
if I could add on, if there's enough money available to do sidewalks to add on to North Street, like right now it goes down as far as,
Is it
the old sand and gravel, I would make it go further down, so.
without doing anything to the existing condition?
No, the existing ones would have to be redone. There's some that are just from the square to Pearlie that are, where the trees, the larger trees used to be, the roots are rotting underneath and, it's in bad shape, so they would have to be redone. Pond Street would need new sidewalks. I think they don't even meet spec. They're like 3-foot sidewalks. There's some shrubs growing into them, so that would be another area that we'd look into, so there's plenty of sidewalk work, plenty.
So we can put this all in your.
1 year could take care, it wouldn't even take care of all the sidewalk work we need to do.
Oh, no, right.
And if that was 400,000, it'd be not even, it wouldn't be enough.
Right, but on your prioritization plan, part of, you're saying this is 5 years?
No, that's about 4. And there's, I know it says Central Street and Andover Street to add on, but North Street would be added on also. And it would repair existing sidewalks too. Like, we need to do something with East Main Street from Pillsbury Lane to Tenney Street, so,
So you can add that to this prioritization
Yes.
schedule?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to make, because we weren't talking, I didn't see it there.
yep.
Any further conversation?
Will
Mr.
there
Fowler?
be, thank you, will there be any more meetings on this or something as it goes forward? How will you proceed?
Right now, it goes to the state, and then they decide how much money they're gonna give us, and then we go from there, and then I could always come back here and say, how do we wanna spend this, or I could just, I know that we need some work done to sidewalks. We did work just that little stretch from, Elm Street to Pillsbury Lane, that was, over $50,000 just to do that little bit.
I just, on number 6, the park and ride. My thoughts, we might consider just calling that a town parking lot. I know that it is used as a park and ride and
Yeah.
you've got a structure, but I wonder if it might be better to consider putting perhaps another one centrally located in town if there was enough funds. I don't know what something like that would cost, but that would connect with the rail trail and the bike trail. 'Cause,
Yep.
you know, that's coming in as alternate transportation, and, I mean, and I see that could be a great thing if that's perhaps where a bus could go. People could park their bikes because I doubt that many people are gonna be using it to ride their bikes to Boston, but that's what it was initially, was, you know, the Boston to Border Rail Trail.
Yep.
So, you know, perhaps something on that end, if, you know, when you're thinking on those lines, perhaps be open-minded towards that. Because I was told, I don't know how true it is, that, you know, what we had with the state, I guess we don't have to call it a park and ride no more if we want.
Yeah, the state doesn't run this.
Yeah, 'cause someone did tell me that they're calling it that, sometimes people aren't so, people coming to the downtown area may not wanna park there, cause they think that it's only for a park and ride,
Yep.
so. But right now, that is our only park and ride, so.
Yep. So if we got the other park and ride near the highway, that might be just the town parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we have our leases with the state, right?
Nope.
That expired. It was only good for 20 years.
So,
So there's no lease on that right now?
Nope, so we own it.
right, but they're still using it.
Well, I mean, I think it's residents that park there to drive into the bus and, you know, on the bus.
Right, but the bus is still picking people up there,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So we don't have any agreement in place that could stop tomorrow.
Yep.
Maybe that's something we wanna look into, because a lot of people in town must rely on it, you know, if we don't, that's a side issue, you know?
Yep.
That's something, Mike, we wanna, I don't know, Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that we look into that.
I would absolutely agree to that.
You know, we're at will, I don't like being at will, I like to, especially there may be a lot of people depending upon that
I
bus.
don't, well, the
tomorrow.
bus company goes from, I think it's from Haverhill, they pick up in Groveland, they pick up here, they pick up in Boxford, so they're not gonna stop doing it, cause it would, you know, it's revenue for them.
I don't know, they always pick up there, I think sometimes they just drop off in the square or.
No,
in
they
that
pick
area.
up early in the morning on
Okay.
East Main Street,
But I thought I've seen
they
them.
go down Elm Street to pick up it in Boxford.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I had, Pete, on the, when is the due date for the prioritization schedule?
I'm not sure, I'm gonna talk to Merrimack Valley Planning tomorrow and I could find out, but I know it's sooner than later.
I talked to John Cashel today. He talked to Merrimack Valley Planning. September 1 is the deadline.
So,
September 1?
yep. I'd like to get it in earlier, so if we could
Yeah.
get money sooner than later.
Because they're going to give the money out in October.
Wow,
I
that's
agree
quick.
with Peter, the sooner the better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this can change and we can add and,
Yeah,
you know, we're just gonna, you know, if there's things to spend money on, we're gonna do it and, you know, so.
Any other conversation? No? Mike, what do we need?
Nothing.
Nothing?
That was
This is
just discussion.
Okay.
The Complete Streets policy, we need an adoption.
You wanna make a motion? To adopt it, or do we need a motion for that, or we just adopt it?
Well, adopt and then
We're just gonna
discuss.
adopt
A motion and then discussion.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay,
is
the,
this different from when we approved Complete Streets project? A year or so, 2 years ago or something? Maybe a year or two?
This is phase 2. Phase 1 was go to the seminars.
The workshop, yeah.
Yeah, and then the result of the going to the seminars, we were supposed to produce a complete
Right.
streets policy.
Okay, I just, because
Yeah.
I was a little foggy on whether we just approved what we're gonna approve, or, you know, a year or so ago.
No,
or
we
if that
haven't.
was something else. All right.
yeah, that was just to authorize the chairman to sign the community compact, basically,
I would,
Right.
submit.
I think it's to get into the community compact.
Right.
I would move that we adopt the complete street policy as presented.
I would second that.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any other conversation? Yes, sir.
There is no effective or expiration dates on it though, as it's presented. Should we put something in there?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
I think just the effective date, the date we voted, that's about it.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
that was a question.
Well, Merrimack Valley's been a big help to this. And now that we have a planner and,
Yep.
you know, things are settled down there, a lot of this stuff is able to get done.
All right, we have a motion and a second. If there's no other conversation, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 And that's 5. Nay? All right, unanimous.
Was there any? Oh.
Nope, no nays. Okay. Peter, anything else?
Nope, that should do it.
Thank you for taking the time tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thanks,
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, got that. All right, so Selectmen's reports, preambulation of bounds.
It's basically a walk in the woods.
Yeah, we, seems like this has been on the agenda for a while.
Well, we were asked to keep it on the agenda. We actually received a response today
Great.
from the town of Rowley.
Okay.
Hey, buddies.
And dear Board of Selectmen, the Rowley Board of Selectmen have reviewed the letter from Georgetown Town Administrator Michael Farrell regarding the perambulation of our mutual border. Selectman G. Robert Mary and Selectman Robert Snow are available to locate and mark the boundary markers. Could you please provide us with some suggested dates and times that would work for you?
How are we gonna tackle this?
You're required by law to have 2 selectmen or their designees
What constitutes a
meet
dead-
with the other 2 selectmen and mark the boundaries.
I would be happy to meet with those folks. I have done
I
it
would
before
too.
with the town of Rowley,
Yeah, I would too.
Okay,
so you could perhaps, if I may continue, just let us set it up.
I think that'd be the easiest.
Yeah.
I would agree. Any opposition to
Well,
that?
that's the Mason-Dixon line right there. You don't step on
I don't think
The
there'll be
Hatfields
any-
and
I don't
McCoys.
think there'll be any cannons.
You know, no
involved.
cannons, no cannonballs, Gary.
We have the can.
Hurry up, Doug, light the fuse. Doug, light the fuse. No.
All right. So Doug and Gary will head that up for us. Any other discussion on that? All right. Town administrators report. Mike?
Yeah, I just wanna update you. We have actually had the site at 45 Central Street cleaned up, if you haven't noticed. G. Mello actually, Jason Mello and Peter talked together, and the Mello actually removed all the trash for free.
Well,
So I'd like to really thank them
I was
for
gonna say,
stepping up.
yeah, can we send them a letter? for that?
Absolutely.
Yep, please.
I double checked that they even took there was a lot, as you remember, there was a lot of yard toys, big plastic things, and tucked in the back was a substantial metal shed. And they took that too, and its contents. So
Good.
much appreciated.
Yeah. no doubt.
Yeah.
So everything's off the ground?
It is.
Okay.
And actually, they left 2 or 3 big bins on the site, but there's no other trash there.
Fantastic.
Inside, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna ask that. Anything inside?
No, it was the previous owners just threw everything out the second floor window. It was lying there in the yard.
Probably the easiest way to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
Fantastic. So, now we have, a property free of trash. What are the next steps? I know as a board, we've been talking about it, for a few months. What are our next steps?
Before it can be demolished, in the 6-month period, they had 45 days. The Historical Commission had 45 days to respond to the building, the demolition permit.
Mhm.
That was done a long time ago.
Yep.
We didn't hear from them, so the delay doesn't exist. They didn't invoke the 6-month demolition delay. But before it could be torn down, we have to do an assessment for asbestos, thank you. I have to double check to see how much money is left in the warrant article. I think depending on how, I can't imagine the assessment being very expensive, but if they
Mitigation.
find it, getting rid of it could get costly.
Sure.
I thought it was about 5,000 left over, Mike.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, and there was maybe another
I think.
3,500 or so, but, because I think we put 5 for, the
Well, we
trash
put
removal.
two,
Demo
we
and all.
put 225 in it,
Right.
and we only spent 215,
Yeah, so we got about 10
10
grand.
grand,
Closing costs and stuff and legal fees.
you know.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Is there, do we have to worry of anything in tearing it down about the value of anything in it? I mean, for me, I've parked there, looked at it, there is some great granite in the foundation. It's not so much a fieldstone foundation. I don't know if that's of any value, or even if we could save it, probably would have been a great question while Peter was there, if it's of any use in any park, we've got the East Main Street Park, or perhaps even there, if we turned it into, in the,
Well, the demo people reclaim whatever they get from it. That's, sometimes, they price it based on what they see as a value that they can,
yeah, but
they can use.
if I can continue, I thought at one point I had kind of heard that perhaps Peter felt that his crew could take it down or something. Is that not in the picture anymore, or?
Well, we did discuss it. They've never done that before. We'd have to rent a large
Yeah,
excavator.
it's just a big excavator and they put it in
Yeah.
dumpsters.
Well,
It's not that big of a home, but.
but they have no experience doing it either.
Okay. Okay, I just didn't know if there was any way we could perhaps save some of that granite for future things in town, but I mean, I don't know who would look at that, but that's what I thought. The historic might come up with something of that, but they obviously just letting us do what we wish, I guess.
Mr. Chairman, if I make a suggestion?
Yes,
on
sir.
that? So maybe we should have Peter take a look, that he may be able to use that somewhere and not include it in the scope of the demo. In other words, if we say we want this piece of granite, or we want this petition or whatever, we want these, we want this trim or that post and beam, maybe have Peter do an evaluation of, he may be able to use that, if he feels like there's nothing, and maybe even talk to the building inspector too, to say, where do you think, in your expertise, we may be able to use this somewhere in the town for something, and then just don't include it in the scope of work, just exclude it.
But what Mike also said is, if the, demo company comes in, they could actually, if there's something in there that they can
Agreed.
use, they'll just
Yeah,
take
right.
it off the price. I
Yeah.
mean, to me,
You could get it done for nothing if there's enough value.
Some of it they just
I don't
bury,
wanna
too.
reach just for the sake of reaching,
Right.
to see if there's something, that I'd rather take the money off, quite frankly, as based on our budget. So, but, that's something
Maybe
we can
gold on
discuss.
them Dire Hills.
That's a different
If there's
story.
any gold in there, I'll be over. My little sifting.
Oh, you could use the granite for to revamp the Welcome to Georgetown sign.
So, Mike, the assessment, do you have someone who's coming in, lined up, or?
Not yet. I was gonna rely on the building department to do that.
Okay. All right.
They'd have to approve it.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Mike?
I'd like to ask Mike a question,
Sure.
doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking. But on the East Main Street recreational facility. Has there been some bidding going on?
It was posted last Wednesday, and it needs to be posted for 2 weeks. So the process is ongoing.
Okay.
They kind of got the cart before the horse. They got bids before it was posted. So now they have to, they're not bids per se, they're estimates. We don't have to do a full-blown RFP or not, request for invitation for bids. We just have to get 3 estimates and choose from that.
So the folks that they already got, they could just have them resubmit those.
Yeah, what one has resubmitted because they were hoping to get the work done early in the season, and now their price has gone up.
Oh,
Not
okay.
substantially, but it, they didn't have any work to do at that time, so they were able to give a better price.
Okay.
But,
Well, I was just curious to see how that was progressing.
yeah, so another week, and we can then select a vendor to do the work.
Okay.
A week from Wednesday.
Right. So that would be Park and Rec and you?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Any other conversation? All right, Mike, thank you very much. Appointments and approvals. How do we generally do these?
Somebody
As
takes a
we-
stab at them
Yeah,
usually.
right? Who wants to take a stab at them? Let's fly through.
The renewals on the, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we renew the bowling license for Georgetown Bowling Lanes with a term to expire 12/31/2017.
Yes.
There we go.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
I have discussion. Have
Yes, sir.
we, so I think at our last meeting or the one before, we got an update from
We
the
did.
fire chief, right?
Yep.
And everything's still okay with,
Yeah, he was, Chief was impressed with everything that's been done, and he sounded to me like he signed off, per se,
Okay.
from him, so,
Sure.
yeah, I think we're good.
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a
Unanimous.
motion, we renew the Class 2 used car sales license for Georgetown Auto Sales with a term to expire 12/31/2017.
second?
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have a question. That's the auto sales at the BP station?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's the one.
Oh,
Spiro's.
Sparrows,
Spiro.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they changed the name, it was a different name, but they changed their corporation and
Okay.
name on it.
So just a quick
Yes, sir.
question on that for Mike. So there's a bond required, it
Yes,
says in there, so that's been?
and they brought it in today.
Okay, great, thanks.
Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right. he's
Mr.
got it.
Chairman,
That was for the 12/31, right?
right, 12/31/2017. We make a motion that we renew the secondhand shop license for Settlers Antiques with a term to expire 12/31/2017.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Second?
Let's have some discussion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, discussion.
If I might ask the
Yes, sir.
questions, where are we, Mike, in terms of tax roll?
They're in arrears, and they don't have a current payment plan in place. Matter of fact, they've had, well, that's the status.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be careful of what we
Yep.
say in public session, so Mike, but is their license active right now?
No,
And how long when did it expire? June 30th?
December 31st.
December 31st?
Are they still operating under expired license there?
We don't actually have any process. To stop them, I don't think. I don't know what we have.
Well, we do. We've stopped, when their business was before Tin Lizzie's, they didn't have a license. We stopped them from
That was
New
the
Year's
liquor
Eve
license.
and, well, it was kind of both, I think, right? We wouldn't do the common vic and all that other stuff unless they had that, right? So it's kind of one with the other. I mean, I hate to see somebody go out of business over something like this. I think we really need to talk about, the issue, with them.
Mhm.
In the meantime, I would be in favor of continuing to let them operate.
Sure, me too.
Okay. So, any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor of granting,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
You said it.
yep, Doug had a second.
Oh, Doug, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I thought it was
Yep. All those in favor of renewing the license? All those in favor, say aye.
you. Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay? Steve, is a nay?
So, Mr. Chairman,
So,
before we
4-1.
move on, we
Yes,
have
sir.
just a discussion on this particular piece. At any time, we can always, meaning the Board of Selectmen, always have the right to suspend a license, yes?
For cause, yeah.
And cause, it could be non-payment of electric bills, non-payment of real estate taxes, whatever that might
Water,
be.
Yeah.
Water, utilities,
Facilities.
it's okay. So we still have the right at any point in time to suspend a license. Okay, thank you.
So
Thanks,
just so
Mr.
I'm
Chairman.
clear, the
Yep.
motion was to renew a license, but it's not active, so we're not really renewing.
Well, we're renewing the one from
From the one that they had.
12/31
yeah,
of
from
last year,
12/31.
when it expired.
Okay.
So what Steve's point is, it's technically not active then,
Right.
because it expired 12/31, so. Is that all right if we have a renewal? That's a point.
I don't know.
We've done
how-
them late for other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it all
I mean,
these,
the bowling alley one is late.
right,
and
they're
the
all
Okay.
like that.
Class-
Class two one is,
If I could change my vote then to yay.
So do we have to call for reconsideration? No.
No.
Just change the vote.
All right, do we have a motion, on the last one?
Are they open?
I was just about to ask that.
Well,
one.
it's for
Are they on?
lease, and I don't know what the whole story is. She hasn't been open for a few weeks. And there's a
She's-
sign in the window for lease.
Yeah.
she wants to reopen. She,
Oh,
She's been taking care of her mother,
her
right?
mother passed away,
oh,
she
sorry to
did?
hear that.
Oh,
so
okay.
that
I
she's,
wasn't aware of that.
so she's.
Condolences.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we renew the common victual license for the Pizza Factory with a term to expire 12/31/2017.
Second.
Is there a second? Do we have a second? Discussion. All right, if there's no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay?
Before we adjourn.
Can I
I
just
got
have a
you,
quick
I got
one?
you. Hold on one second. So that, we'll retire that. Actually, why don't we'll hit, you last, okay? So, Steve?
Yeah, I just had a question on the renewal, so are we all set with the secondhand shop in the Davis building? Do they need to be voted in?
I sent them an application. I haven't heard anything from them since.
Okay.
I sent the application out, so
All
I
right,
can try resending and
okay.
get a response.
As they're operating right now, so everyone's aware.
Okay. Any other questions? You good? All right, next, Selectman Dawes, why don't you, give us a little background on the Memorial Day observance this year?
Well, Memorial Day is right around the corner. I can't believe it. But anyhow, this is the official schedule of events and the invitation to the community, all veterans, Board of Selectmen, everybody that lives in the town, to attend Memorial Day. So I'm going to read you this letter. Take out your pens and papers and write down the dates. The Georgetown Renee J. Gagnon American Legion Post number 211 and the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post number 7608 invite the Georgetown Board of Selectmen, all veterans and residents of Georgetown, to participate with us in the observance of Memorial Day on Monday, May 29th, 2017. Now, this is a schedule of events that are leading up for that. On Thursday, I believe Friday is May 26th, is that right?
Friday, 26, 27, 28, yes.
I believe it is.
Yeah, Friday the 26th, Saturday the 27th.
Yeah.
Sunday, 28th.
29th, so, yeah. So that is Friday, May 26th, at 6 o'clock will be doing the placement of flags to mark the veterans' graves. We invite the Boy Scouts and the scouting community to come out and help us, as they usually do every year. And we invite the Board of Selectmen to come out with us to do the same thing. That's at 6 o'clock Friday, May 26th. Then on Monday, Memorial Day, May 29th, at 7:45 in the morning, we have the morning ceremonies at the 3 cemeteries. Union Cemetery, Harmony Cemetery, and South Byfield Cemetery, which is in Georgetown. And we will assemble at 7:45 a.m. at the Georgetown Park and Ride, and the bus will leave at 8 o'clock. Upon returning, at 9:30 on May 29th, we'll assemble at the Georgetown Middle High School for the commemorative march. And that march will commence at 10 o'clock a.m. The route will be from the Georgetown Middle High School to the Public Safety Building, then to the Civil War Memorial, and Harry Murch Veterans Park for the final stop before we march back to the middle high school. Following the ceremonies, refreshments and food will be served for all the participants at the VFW Post 7608 at 435 Andover Street. So on behalf of the VFW and the American Legion, I, as commander of the American Legion, and Dan Cordair, as the commander of the VFW Post, invite you all to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. And last year, I gotta say, I attended for actually the first time, and it was a very moving experience. I thoroughly enjoyed, attending all the events. So everyone out there, if you do not have anything to do, I hope you can join us, for all the festivities, and show our support for our veterans. And after that, anybody else have anything else for tonight?
Contact your speechwriter, because you have to give a speech, so.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all yours now.
Well, there is no proclamation at Memorial Day.
Right, okay. But generally, doesn't the chairman give a little speech?
I don't know, I have to look at the whole schedule
Is that
of
Veterans
events.
Day, or is that
No,
Memorial?
that
That's
was Memorial
Day.
Day.
It's definitely Memorial Day, sure.
You did it last year.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right, you did do it last
Yeah, I
year.
had a speechwriter. No, that's, I had a ghostwriter.
Filter
So, anyway.
Well,
Make a
we'll
motion
have
to
to-
adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Have a great night, everybody.
Got a vote on it.
I think, well,
That's right.